Yo, what's the deal, man? What is going on? Shit. Probably ain't gonna be able to. I gotta get on the road today, man. So, quick recording here, right? Um, Over the weekend, I'll try to do what I can. I don't know if I'll take my equipment with me, but it is what it is, right? At the end of the day, take what you like, leave what you don't. Game day insights is what I really use to do the research and baseball savant, fan graphs, things like that. So shout out to Larry with the game day insights. Gotta love it, right? So let's go through the slate. I just took some notes down. I'm gonna quickly brief through a few things for the people who just need a quick rundown and people who tune in to me every day, right? So Toronto Blue Jays at Chicago Cubs. We got the wind blowing out 5 to 10 miles an hour. You know what that means? That the wind plays a big factor in Chicago there. So we got Rodriguez, we got Hendricks on the mound with a 9.5 total. I don't know about the total, but if they expected runs, then it is what it is. Some bats that I didn't mind getting to here for the Cubs side would be Suzuki. Um, he's got home run power. Maya, he's just not striking out. So if he's in the lineup, take a look at that. Swanson looks semi okay, and boy, man, probably was a small sample size, but I did circle Bellinger, so I have to go back and really do another check just to see, what I'm saying, if I really want to go to Bellinger. But I don't really bet on Cubs batters like that. It is my team, but boy, do they know how to sell me. Will Wayne, if he's in the lineup, he's 5 for 5 versus this pitch mix. He's somebody 5 for 5, like he's somebody who's been swinging a hot bat. Kirk, Clement, and Vladdy. You can look at Kirk Clement for a hit, Vladdy for a hit. Kirk for a hit, Vladdy, the whole 9 yards. I don't think Vladdy has a home run versus pitch mix over the course of the last month. So, Washington Nationals at Philadelphia Phillies. We got over under 9 here. As soon as the line dropped, I took the over 5.5 runs for Philadelphia. Took them on the run line, and all the bats are in play here, right? So I couldn't talk you off anything here. The usual suspects, just all of them, right? Shout out to Bone for yesterday for hitting for getting the RBIs. He was in a really good spot. If he's in that cleanup spot again today, you can look at him for hits, runs, and RBIs. You could have his RBIs, but all the bats are in play, especially these lefties. They do hit lefties well, right? So that's Schwarber, and that's Harper. So I'm looking for these guys to have Phillies to really dominate here. I did take their team total up to 9.5 yesterday. I caught it live and I got it for like a plus 200. So that's something that you can look at as well. Live team totals or team totals, overs, ladders, right? If you just had to get to a bat or something like that from the Washington side or something like that for a hit or something, you can look at Garcia, Yepes, Call, somebody like that. But I won't be looking at neither one of those guys. New York Yankees at Detroit Tigers here. I'm seeing Cole. Don't know who's going to be pitching for the Detroit Tigers. Not a big fan of the Detroit Tigers bullpen as of late. This New York team we know these guys are monstrous versus right hand pitching and things of that nature. We have an over under 8 in this spot, so that's something to take a look at. Cole, it's Cole. His pitching outs and strikeouts could be in play in this spot. Depending on what number we get. At the end of the day, it's going to be money line parlays, run line straights. Give me the New York Yankees, and then all the bats. They just hot, right? Um, Kansas City Royals at Cincinnati Reds. We got an over under 9.5 in this spot. Lorenzen on the mound, Martinez on the mound. I do expect runs to be put up here, but it is what it is. For the Cincinnati side here, I do like the left hand batters look good versus this pitch mix. That don't mean they're gonna go out there and do things, whatever the case may be. But Ellie De La Cruz is probably the top bat from the Cincinnati side if he just don't strike out. Last month he's got 12 extra base hits and 4 home runs versus this pitch mix, and then he has 1 home run within the last week versus that pitch mix. Candelario, uh, these are last month's numbers, right? Um, 5 extra base hits, 3 home runs last month for Candelario with a home run in the last week versus that pitch mix. TJ Friedel, 4 extra base hits, 4 home runs in the last month with 2 home runs in the last week. Fraley, 4 extra base hits, 2 home runs. Benson, 3 extra base hits, two home runs. right? So the lefties are the ones that look like something. If I was to look at, it would be Ellie De La Cruz, probably followed by Candelario. He's the switch, so he'd be valuable all game. But Eddie De La Cruz really, really looked good. Okay, we just know he will strike out. On the flip side, Kansas City Royals, Bobby Witt, he's just a monster. He's top, probably top. He's the top bat of the game. Um, you notice Kansas City Royals team, they don't strike out much. You can look at Vinny Pasquantino. If you're looking for power, you can look at Salvador Perez. But at the end of the day, this is a 9.5 total. You can look at this game for hits, runs, and RBIs and things of that nature. Okay. Sometimes, guys like Bobby Witt, you can take them for multiple hits. You can get good odds there. Multiple runs. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like Elliot de la Cruz. If you think there's going to be big time traffic on the bases, then you can look at multiple runs there. Lorenzen and Martinez is on the mound. If you like Kansas City, you're gonna get a nice price at a plus 112 early, right, for the money line. But if you, I do expect. I mean, from Cincinnati side, just gotta wait to see who's going to be in the lineup. I do expect traffic to be on the basis, you know, regarding these lefties, right? But Kansas City Royals, the lefties and the righties, most of this team is not striking out. I think that could pose a problem for somebody like Martinez. So the dogs could be barking in this spot. Um, Seattle Mariners and Pittsburgh Pirates here. We got an over under 6.5. Plus, we have weather implications. So keep an eye on the weather when you're looking at guys like Skeens for strikeouts and also Gilbert for strikeouts. Like I said, weather implications. So that could be something interesting, right? No one first inning candidates, stuff like that. Um, I will say, I was looking at these Seattle batters. If this game happens to go, I think the lefties, something about those lefties, they looked they looked interesting, right? They looked interesting versus Paul Skeens pitch mix, your Polancos and Rayleighs and stuff like that. They looked interesting, but we'll see. Arizona Diamondbacks at Tampa Bay Rays. We got an over under or 7.5. Low total here with a 108 money line pick 'em. Ryan Pepperway, he's been out for about a month. He's somebody. I mean, he's somebody that you can take a look at. I know he's got that good case stuff. He was scary at times. This Arizona Diamondbacks team, they do not strike out. I will not be looking at Arizona at Tampa Bay Rays for bats here. Not my favorite game, but the Arizona Diamondbacks lefties look good. Uh, all I wrote down was Arizona left-hand batters. Jock Peterson, Corbin Carroll. Um, I forget the other kid's name. He's coming around. He's been batting in that three hole lately. Y'all know what I'm talking about. McCarthy, I want to say. So he's somebody you can look at. The lefties look extremely green versus his pitch mix. Pepperway's pitch mix. He's just coming back. Don't know how long he's going to go. He did just pitch one stint in the, what was it, the Triple A or something like that. He did go like 3 innings with like 7 Ks. So he did have the strikeouts on display there. But hey, this Arizona team, they don't strike out much. I love what this Arizona team has been doing. I still like the lefties here, right? So it is what it is. Boston Red Sox at Baltimore Orioles. We got an over under 8.5 in this spot. Could be a tricky spot here. The usual lefties look good versus Corbin Burns pitch mix. I mean, um, of course, um, my God. Devers, who's ice cold, he still looked good versus the pitch mix. I think I was three batters. I didn't write them down when I should have written them down. Uh, but I don't know how much I would, go to this game on that side. Cooper Criswell, not a big fan of Cooper Criswell. So on the Baltimore side, Santander he looked pretty good there. He's got a 306 batting average, seven extra base hits, five home runs within the last month, and one home run within the last week versus his pitch mix. And then the lefties, the left-hand batters, they looked okay. I couldn't talk you off anything. Gunnar, Colton, O'Hearn, Mullins, they all looked fine, right? Batting averages was okay. Gunnar starting to come around, hit a few more home runs here and there. So, um, don't know when to go see the explosion for Boston Red Sox versus right-hand pitching again. It could happen any day. As far as the side, It probably would. I get a pitcher lean towards Baltimore, right? I mean, towards Baltimore. So money line parlays, run line straights for Baltimore. You can see you get the Baltimore Orioles for plus money on the run line. Kind of fishy. Lines can be fishy here. I probably won't bet it. If I'm doing just a maybe a money line parlay for a few dollars, I probably would throw them in. But you know, uh, be safe out there. Miami Marlins at New York Mets. We got an over under 8.5 in this spot. We got Munoz on the mound. We got Monet on the mound, right? So uh, Miami been sneaky, putting up runs for the last few weeks now. New York Mets is hard for me to pinpoint where I really like to go with the bats sometimes, but I have some things written down. Vietnos, he's got only got a 226 batting average, but he does have 4 home runs and 8 extra base hits within the last month, and then 2 of those home runs came in the last week. Um, Alonso, he's not hitting for average. He's got in the last month, he's got 7 extra base hits and 4 home runs though versus his pitch mix. Iglesias, here's a guy that's not striking out. 306 batting average, 4 extra base hits within the last 2 weeks. Month, and then and 2 home runs. Lindor, I have a half circle on him, not a full circle, but a half circle. You can look at him for hits, runs, and RBIs. 7 extra base hits and 4 home runs within the last month. He is sporting a 355 batting average, and then McNeil. He's got a 290 batting average. I got a half circle on him as well. So those are the two bats that I like the most from the Mets. It will be Lindor and McNeil. 13 extra base hits, 5 home runs, and one of those home runs within the last month. Last week versus that pitch mix. Berger, he's been on fire, right? Last month, batting 333 versus that pitch mix. 99 extra velo, 8 extra base hits, 6 home runs in the last month. One of those home runs came within the last week. His fly ball is up at 59. He's been on fire. Xavier Edwards, if you're looking for a hit, he's batting 391 versus this pitch mix. And Bride, he's batting 294 versus this pitch mix. He's got 1 home run in the last 7 days versus that pitch mix, right? So, take what you like, leave what you don't. Munoz is on the mound. Definitely not a big fan of Munoz, but hey, it is what it is, right? New York Mets big favorites, minus 245 favorites, and 113 on the run line. So, hey, do you? Minnesota Twins at Texas Rangers. Here we got an over under 8.5 in this spot. Texas Rangers running out of lefty and Haney. Woods Richardson's on the mound. At the end of the day here, um, for Minnesota, right? Outside the usual suspects, you do have uh, Carlos Santana. He's a guy who is hitting lefties well. Um, he's historically hit lefties well. He's got 2 home runs in the last 7 days versus this pitch mix. And if you're looking for a lefty, you can look at Kepler. He's got 1 home run in the last 7 days. Over the course of a month, he's batting 385 versus this pitch mix. And then you got your Buxtons and your Royce Lewis's and stuff like that. Guys like that, I'm probably they in play, not even mention them. I just brought those two guys up, so it is what it is. On the Texas side, a lot of stuff didn't wow me there, but I'm definitely looking at Corey Seager here. Um, 300 batting average, 7 extra base hits, and 5 home runs over the course of a month versus this pitch mix with 1 home run in the last week, and his barrel rate is up at 15%. So, he's somebody that you can look at there. The Chicago White Sox at Houston Astros. Here we got an over under 7.5 in this spot. I'm not looking at the Chicago White Sox backs here. Arrieta, you can look at him for outs. You can look at him for strikeouts, whatever you want to do. He's been okay, and as of late, we only have a over under 7.5 in this spot. I like Jordan with a 389 batting average, 15% barrel rate, and then no 15% K rate. So that's really good. There, Crochet hasn't been himself. So you got Jordan, who's not been striking out. Another guy who hasn't been striking out is Altuve. He's 5 for 14 versus this pitch mix over the last month with a 6% K rate. So he's somebody leading off that's not striking out. Then you got Yandy Diaz, who's 5 for 11 with a 455 batting average versus this pitch mix, 2 home runs. Um, last He's got a high ass K rate though, 33%, right? But um, he's batting 455 versus that pitch mix, so it is what it is, right? So we'll see what's gonna happen there. I came back. If I'm taking the side here, would be money line parlays, run line straights in favor of Houston. Like I said, you can look at Arrieta out, you can look at Arrieta strikeouts. Gavin Williams, Cleveland Guardians at Milwaukee Brewers over on the 8. Another low total here, right? So, some things you want to know about Gavin Williams. Gavin Williams, on the road, he's been pitching well, but the thing about that, I think he started about 4 games and on the road, and 3 of those games were opponents that was not even that good, right? So, one of those games was impressive versus Minnesota. I think he probably only gave up one. Don't quote me on that, but he pitched okay. And then top it off, he does have good K stuff. Now, for as far as the Cleveland bats, the lefties, the ones that look good. But keep in mind, the Cleveland haven't been looking good versus right-hand pitching. But Savali, he will give up bombs, right? So the lefties, the ones that look good to me. Um, just from a batting average standpoint, let's see. From a batting average standpoint, J Ram was batting 345. Naylor was batting 333 with 1 home run in the last month versus his pitch mix, and Quan was batting 313. That looks pretty good for them because they haven't been green versus righties in a month. So this pitch mix versus those 3 usual suspects look pretty good. Now, Savali, like I said, he does give up bombs. He's giving up 23 bombs, 10 to left hand batters and 13 to right hand batters. All those guys will be batting from the left side, I imagine. On the flip side here, we know some of these guys on St. Louis, on Milwaukee, they hit bombs. Gavin Williams hasn't given up that many bombs. He ain't pitched that many games either, but he hasn't given up that many bombs. So he will strike out, and these Minnesota bats that I'm about to read off to you will strike out as well. So Adames batting 441, 529 isolated power, 14 barrel rate, 8 extra base hits, 5 home runs, and 1 home run in the last week. Uh, he will strike out. Contreras batting 310 in the last month with a 16.6 barrel rate, 8 extra base hits, 5 home runs in the last month, 2 home runs in the last week. Unfortunately, he will strike out. Um, Churio, 275 batting average. Five extra base hits, 4 home runs in the last month with 1 home run in the last week. Like I said, all these guys will strike out. He Gavin Williams does have good K stuff, but these guys will take, these guys will hit a bomb. You know what I'm saying? They will. You've been seeing in that Dodgers coming off that Dodgers series. Contreras has been fired. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Speaking of Dodgers, Los Angeles Dodgers don't have a pitcher out. Miles McCullers ass, right? So we got an over under 9.5 in this spot. Um, I'm gonna take the team total over for the Dodgers. Might go full game over because at instances, St. Louis Cardinals, even though we don't have a pitcher out for the Los Angeles Dodgers, they ain't no pushover, right? They can put up some. They put up some runs here and there. They can get jiggy with it. I'm not a big fan of this Los Angeles Angels Dodgers pitching staff here, so it is what it is. Now, like I said, we got an over under 8.5, 9.5 in the spot. Did I write anything down for this one? BVP. Um, I think Betts is 3 for 17 with a home run. Freeman is 8 for 17 with 3 home runs. Teo's got a bomb versus McCullers. That's defense versus position, pitcher rather, right? So that's one thing. But it should be fun. And like I said, keep in mind, St. Louis has some pop too. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes over. We need to see who's going to be pitching for the Dodgers here. Um, San Diego Padres at Coors, right? Colorado, Kyle Quantrill. Kyle Quantrill, who somehow is pitching a little bit better at home than he does on the road. I just don't understand how these pitchers do that. We do have 11.5 over under here, so that's crazy, right? So um, this is Coors Field. Everybody and their mama can hit a home run here, right? So don't even I mean, a lot. This, some weird shit goes down in Coors Field. Okay, so it is what it is. Now, over under 11.5. See that big ass total right there. Now, so what I will say here, I'll just run off some bats. Surprisingly, Machado, my guy, right? 5-3. He got 5 extra base hits and 3 home runs versus his pitch mix. 11 barrel rate, 11% barrel rate, 250 batting average over the course of the last month. The thing about that, what I really like, he's got a 5% K rate. I like that. I really do. Kyle Hayasashi, however you want to pronounce his name, he's batting 381. He does have a home run versus Kyle Quantrill. Alexander Bogans, he's batting 286. If you want to look at the lefties here, Merrill, 421, three extra base hit, 21% barrel rate versus this pitch mix. Like I said, he's got three extra base hits and one home run within the last month, and then his strikeout rate is 9%. I love that barrel rate. I love that strikeout rate. He's trying to make a push for the rookie of the year. I really like it. Right now, other guys that are in play that I didn't write down, your profiles, your Cronenworths, and things like that. All those guys are in play. You know what I'm saying? All those guys are in play. I forget the leadoff kid. I forget his name, but y'all know those guys are in play. We got 11 and a half over under in this spot. So, your RBIs, things like that, you know what I'm saying? Look at your lineups, who's coming out, dig those spots, and then just get in there. Get in there, hit your spots, and get on up out of that, man. Looking at the Colorado side here, we got Matt Waldron. A few pitchers on the slate got that knuckleball, knuckle curve. Guys like Cole, guys like Waldron, guys like Soriano, who's going to be next. So it's a lot of weird pitchers on this slate here. So at the end of the day, though, he did go into San Diego probably about April, and I don't really count that. He did pitch a good game in Colorado. However, looking at the bats here, if he is, I think he is pitching his worst towards lefties. Jake Cave. Yesterday, I kept saying Jake Cave name, and I was trying to mention somebody of Detroit. So maybe that might be a sign. But either way it go, he has a 296 batting average with six extra base hits and three home runs versus this pitch mix in the last month rather, 14 barrel rate. And then another lefty would be Taglia. He's batting 296 with three extra base hits and two home runs versus this pitch mix in the last month. Rogers, right? If you look at the righties, Rogers one home run within Doyle three home runs within a month, Tovar two home runs within a month. All these guys versus that pitch mix, all these guys are batting 300 or better. All those righties, Rogers, Doyle, Tovar, and Bryant, all those guys are batting 300 versus his pitch mix, but they haven't seen that knuckleball that he has, right? So that could throw a monkey wrench in the game. Take what you like, leave what you don't. It is what it is. Atlanta Braves, Swellenbach on the mound, Soriano on the mound. Soriano, we got a measly 8 over under in this spot. Soriano has been pitching good. Can't take nothing from him. Swellenbach's got that K stuff, right? So I will be looking at Swellenbach for strikeouts, maybe pitching outs, whatever the case may be. Last 14 days, this Los Angeles Angels, they've been striking out a ton versus right-hand pitching. Probably top five with about 26% K rate. So you can look at this out, you can look at this strikeouts, whatever the case may be with that. Um, a lot of bats didn't stick out to me for Los Angeles, so I probably won't go there. One swing of the batters. Atlanta Braves have a lot of one swing of the batters, looking like home run power hitters over there. So even if they don't, with a low total like this, and they don't think they can manufacture runs, here's some guys that can take it out with one swing of the bat. Um, Ozuna, batting 318 versus his pitch mix. Over the course of the last month, he has three extra base hits, two home runs. His um, mm, he's got a six barrel rate. So fly ball rate is down. Riley, he's batting 277, 298 isolated power, six extra base hits, and four home runs versus pitch mix over the course of the last month. His barrel rate has crept up a little bit. It's only at 8.5 though, with an 18 fly ball. The fly ball is down. Soler, here's a guy who I might not mind going to for the simple fact that his numbers and his barrel rate is looking a little bit better. He's five extra base hits over the course of the last month with three home runs versus his pitch mix, two home runs in the last 7 days versus his pitch mix. The 344 batting average, and I circled his barrel rate at 12.5. Fly ball could be higher. It's only at 20, but the barrel rate looks good. He could be one with a 344 batting average. He could be a bat that I could look at there for a hit or something like that, whatever the case may be. Um, Travis DNR, another guy who's got a high barrel rate. He's got 3 extra base hits and 3 home runs in the last month. He's batting 375. If he's in the lineup, somebody you can look at. His barrel rate is 12.5, just like Soler. So these two guys' barrel rate is up versus this pitch mix. Fly ball is down, is around 21, 22. Olsen, if you're looking for a lefty, he's batting 281 versus this pitch mix. 5 home runs within the last month, 4 extra base hits within the last month, 2 home runs within the last week. Right, his barrel rate is almost creeping up around 20, 18.75. His fly ball rate is higher than anybody's on the team within the last month versus pitch mix sitting around 30, right? So it is what it is, right? I like Swellenbach for some strikeouts, even if I'm teasing it down. Take what you like, leave what you don't. At the end of the day, peace out, guys. I'm out of here.